So welcome back to DecoyNoise, where we're doing more Decoy Court with r/am I the antagonist, because sometimes these stories are so ridiculous they demand a retrial. So today's post is, am I the antagonist for telling my future in-laws that they should be happy their daughter was with someone like me? So in a very controversial story, I imagine, let's go ahead and go at it right now. So OP wrote, so my in-laws are really pushy and have actively told me they want their daughter to be with someone who hasn't previously divorced and who didn't have kids. They were always nice to my face, but my fiance told me that they were annoyed and confused when we got engaged, and they kept pushing her to find someone different than me who would prioritize their daughter over my own kids. Thing is, while I love my fiance and value she's not the typical high-value person on the dating market, again, this doesn't mean anything to me, but I find it hypocritical that my fiance has a daughter and has a low-wage job and only an associate's degree and lives with one of her parents' properties, and her parents are mad that I only make $60K with benefits and I haven't bought a house yet, even though I plan on buying one within the next year with my fiance once we're married. We went to their house for dinner and they basically started harassing me about when we're buying a house and why I haven't gotten a bigger car because we'll have more kids living with us. I basically got annoyed and it escalated, and I told them that it's hard for a single mom to find someone, and it's especially hard for them to find someone who is stable and making more money than they do. And they should get off my butt and be happy that their daughter found someone willing to accept the fact that they can't equally contribute to the household. My in-laws took this wrong, and my fiance for the most part understands but was kind of offended. However, I think this was a wake-up call for them, and they should stop judging me and consider that their daughter isn't perfect and that I'm one of the best partners she will find financially and emotionally. Am I the antagonist? So very easily taking this case over to Decoy Court for I don't want to pile on this, so let's just try to have a fair and balanced approach to this story right now, which is probably going to be very one-sided. But so the simple fact that, yes, I live in Los Angeles, so I'm biased as far as what a high-paying job is and what good income is. But the simple fact that he's saying that, hey, she's lucky to be able to get somebody like me. OP talking about that he makes $60K and, you know, he wants to buy a home. Well, it's in many places in the country, I imagine $60K a year is okay. But over in, let's say he does live in, like, you know, San Francisco, Los Angeles, New York City or something. 60K he's not the best catch in the world, and it's the reason I look down on the way he goes about it is because he has no problem trying to say, oh yeah, your daughter, she doesn't make good money, she just has her associate's degree. He's trying to look down on her when he's really not, like, you know, the king or the guy with his master's degree or like doctorate. And I don't even care about that much about, you know, degrees and earning potential. The simple fact is you can't really clown on somebody else or berate somebody else for how much money they make when you really aren't that upper echelon person that can be talking about that. And also, the in-laws probably don't like OP, not based on his, hey, he doesn't make enough money or he has kids. It's one of those situations where they don't like OP because he's a jerk. He is the antagonist. The way that he looks at their daughter or his fiance saying, oh, she'd be lucky to have someone like me. She's not, how did he phrase it? She's not a typical high value person. I'm sorry, why would you ever say that about your person that you're dating? Oh, you're not a high value person, so be lucky that you're with me. Like, that sounds like a terrible thing to say about someone that you're allegedly in love with, that you allegedly want to start a life with. And this just seems like a terrible, terrible way to look at somebody like that. And if I had a kid, or even if I had a friend that was dating somebody that was saying, hey, look, you know, Decoy, I'm dating your friend, she's not the most high value person, so she should just be lucky she's with me. Like, no. It has nothing to do with that they're a single dad. It has nothing to do that they only make $60K a year. It has everything to do with the fact that they don't perceive their partner as a high value person, and they try to say, like, you know, again, this doesn't mean anything to me, but I find it hypocritical, blah, blah, blah. No. This, you can't say they're not a high value person, but it doesn't mean anything to me, when it very clear that it is important, because they're using it as a way to discount how much the fiance is entitled to in a relationship. So obviously, in Decoy Court, we gotta say they are the antagonist. But, you know, we gotta give everybody their fair shake. And, you know, in the Decoy defense, how could we defend OP saying not the high value person? Maybe this isn't America. Maybe this is one of those countries that is an arranged marriage place where it's a dowry is involved, and it's very, very old-fashioned. I don't want to say anything offensive, but it's just one of those cultures where it's not really, you're not marrying somebody because you're in love. You're marrying them because it's a financial transaction. So maybe that's the situation where they're like, hey, look, you had no gentleman callers last harvest moon, and I'm willing to take her off the market for you, good sir. She's welcome to ride in my carriage. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe in that decoy defense, the most absurd of all stories would be, hey, that's why they would be not the antagonist, but we don't live in the world of decoy defense. We live in the reality. Yeah, OP, you're the antagonist because just for the simple fact that you put yourself on this high pedestal and you look down on her so heavily because her high value in your mind. I don't understand anything about that, but you know what I do understand is I want you guys to make sure you're subscribing down below, helping me hit 3K sometime in the near future. How about we make it, you guys can help me, the Decoy Coupon, help me hit 3K by end of October. That would be the best Halloween present for me. If I could do that, maybe I can, maybe I can't. But you know what? I'm figuring out. Give me some advice as to how to make the channel better. But before we go down that path of me just panhandling some more subscribers, let's go ahead and look at the top comments to see if they're going to change my mind as to if OP is the antagonist. So the top comment is, you're the antagonist, firstly, for this, and they also quoted the idea of the high-value person, which I kind of talked about too. And they said, secondly, for actually telling her parents that you think she's a low-value person. Yeah, that's why I feel like they don't look down on OP because he's a high-value person or a low-value person. I think they look down on him because he's just a jerk. But let's go ahead and read the next top comment saying, you're the antagonist, woman on commodities with less or more value, and that's exactly what you made your fiance sound like. No wonder her parents hate you. And that's just, OP just has such a low grasp of what's really going on in the world. And then another comment quoting the whole high value person in the dating market and all other things. And then they just said, hey, read your own words, you're the antagonist. And that would be probably the best thing for them to say, like, hey, highlight the worst part about what they're saying and how they're trying to portray their fiance online and say, hey, if this is how you genuinely feel about her, why are you with her in the first place other than a way to make yourself feel better about your 60K a year job or however that makes them feel? I just think that maybe they just need a wake-up call to kind of like look at themselves really hardly in the mirror and say, hey, maybe it's not because they're looking down on OP because he has kids. Maybe it's just because he's a bad person. But who knows if they'll actually cue in on that. But let's go ahead and read the top controversial comment to see if there's anything else going on. So this person says, wow, Reddit really crapped the bed on this one. Not the antagonist at all. So it's okay to let her family belittle and disrespect her fiance. No, it is not. OP stood up for himself. Good for him. Reddit be real. Everything OP says is true. The truth can hurt, but it doesn't make OP the antagonist. So they got at 0 votes, and I guess I can kind of see where they're coming from, where just because OP is a little bit heavier handed than most people would want to be, doesn't mean that they didn't have the right to defend themselves because the family's talking trash about them. But I think you're going too far. I think it's easy for OP to sit there and say, hey, look, I'm trying my hardest. I love the daughter. I have a stable job. I'm going to try to get a house sometime soon. There's a better way to go about this where you're trying to, like, mend bridges that isn't, your daughter isn't going to do better than me type of approach, which is what OP did, which is kind of a terrible thing to me. But let's go ahead and read some top controversial comments. Everybody's saying, everyone sucks here. Everyone sucks here. Next one, the delivery sucked, but unpopular opinion, I get where you're coming from. Neither of you are in it for the bells and whistles, which is a good thing, so they should F off, which I can kind of see that OP's just kind of frustrated with it. I think they really lose the audience, including me, when they start talking about, hey, she doesn't got a lot going for her. She has an associate's degree, and I make 60K. She won't do better. She has low value on the dating market. I think that's what everybody's queuing in on while they're saying, yeah, OP, you're a jerk right now. Like, why don't you respect your girlfriend or your fiance or your fiance's parents? Like, just lay off them. They want the best for their daughter, and that's entirely okay. But one more top controversial comment that got heavily downvoted was, not the antagonist, but that's because your fiance should have shut her parents down on the comments to you. Everyone has baggage, and I totally see your point, but how you went about it wasn't great, and you can't make you better by pointing out someone else's flaws. The only way you handle this is a united front with your fiance and shut down any and all opinions regarding how you and your fiance live. Are you up for this? Until you both are on the same page, her parents will be a third party in your marriage. negative 21 points. I don't understand how that's such a heavily downvoted thing, because it seems that, hey, maybe you guys should have a conversation together to bring it to the parents. But I guess if I'm backtracking the story right now, how does OP and the fiance come on a united front like, look at my fiance? And she's like, yeah, I'm right here. I'm a low value person. Obviously, I can't do better than this jerk over here. Like, that's not a way to come up across as a united front. So I guess I really can't change my opinion as a they are or aren't the antagonists. They definitely are. There's nothing we can change about that. Like, I hope that OP can come to their senses, or maybe move on to somebody that they feel they're more high value with or something, or he doesn't have to feel like he's doing their daughter a favor or anybody's daughter a favor by dating them. I think that that's a terrible way to live their life. So, you know, as you watch these videos, I want you guys to make sure you're giving me that feedback to tell me how you like it. If you like the idea that I'm doing, you know, 2 videos a day again with just individual topics and just trying to keep things a little more, I guess, brief, or just a, you know, an easier, lighter conversation for you guys to kind of say, hey, look, DecoyNoise, I'm subscribed to it, and 2 times a day you just get reminded, hey, let me take a short break from whatever's going on in reality and just kind of tune out and watch some internet drama, because I feel like that's just a good way to kind of get a nice escape from whatever else is going on in the world right now. So if you haven't subscribed already, please make sure you do. I'm trying to hit 3,000 by the end of October. Hopefully that's possible. Who knows? But I mean, I feel like my fans, the Decoy Koi Pond, and everybody that's here is really supportive of me and my endeavors on trying to hit the, you know, my new goals. So hopefully that's something that's doable. But as always, made it to the end of the video, you're seeing the confetti, hearing the parade music. Make sure you're subscribing down below, sharing it with somebody, and also watching the next episode of DecoyNoise right over there coming up next. I don't know what to do with my hair. I feel like to cut it now.